G'day everyone, Damien Johns here. No Lewis Bell tonight for episode 18 of Leverage, but we do have an able-bodied replacement in Javier Escalante. How are you, my friend?
Very good, Damien. Thank you for the opportunity.
Here you are, man. And feel free to speak freely about anything that I share. We'll go through some of your charts shortly. So let's just rip in, man. So you're our guest tonight. So tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Um, so I'm Javier Escalante. So I joined this community back in August. And I got into the crypto space in November of 2021 through NFTs. And it didn't go that to planned. I almost quit cryptocurrency. But then I found Joel, and I found this community and completely changed my mind. And yeah, I've been in this community since August, like on and off, but I've gotten more serious since December. I've taken this more serious since December, but yeah, now I'm here, and now I'm here with all you.
Host
So
to the call, who'd have thought?
yeah.
Mate, what about so you said 2021, so it's been a couple of years and you got serious around December. So what if you could tell someone that's going to start out, what advice would you give them?
If you're gonna learn how to trade crypto and all that, I would highly recommend finding a community like this one and not doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
And because if you don't know about risk management, FOMO trading, revenge trading, if you've never heard of that, the markets will just destroy you. If you
Yeah,
don't know this info
absolutely.
and you don't have people like that are doing it. And yeah, so my advice would be just find a community, that's doing well for themselves, and yeah, just copy and paste.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah, I
I got
try to do it by myself.
yeah.
So yeah,
And you found since you joined the community, it was a lot more effective.
completely. Like I almost quit crypto NFTs completely, and then yeah, Joel, once you bring me into this, like you completely changed my mind.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that's cool. And tell me a story about your favorite way to trade. Like, are you a breakout retest guy? Are you a triangle guy? Like, what do you enjoy looking for on the charts?
yeah. So recently, since a couple weeks back, I've reeled it back to just the golden four, the support and resistance, trend lines, fibs, and market structure. Because I was trying out like too many different styles and all that, just trying to find different, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so for me, for right now, it's just support and resistance, and like breakout trading. But yeah, I was just trying to do too much
Yeah, right.
2 months back,
And
but yeah.
and do you see like obviously you see different traders, you know, trade certain styles. Would you say that you're a combination of everything you've seen, or are you like a fairly complex trader, fairly simple trader? Like, what kind of things have you taken from others?
Well, oh man, like so many things. Like I've taken Joel's simplicity way of like trading, and then um like EMAs, and yeah, just a combination of different things. But for now, like I feel like I just need to like stick to like basics, but break and retest and support and resistance,
Yeah,
because like I tend to get like analysis paralysis if I start thinking of too much, you know yeah. So I'm just keeping it simple right now, and it's actually working out for me better.
yeah, nice, good advice. Simple equals it'll work out. Um, all right, so let me ask you if you're happy to. Let's share some charts and let's have a look at what you do.
Sure.
I
um
think I've got you set up there, man.
so
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. While he's doing that, I have 15 boyfriends and girlfriends tonight on a date. Happy days.
What,
What a
where do I
crew, eh?
press?
Take a look
So,
at
I'm
you.
sorry, Damien. Where
Jesus.
do I press?
Just the share screen, man, on the bottom in the
Oh yeah.
middle. Just double click that, and it'll come up with the window that you. All the kisses in the chat. Love it. Yeah, lots of love here tonight. Valentine's Day, 14th of February. Boom.
Can you guys see my charts?
Yeah, mate. Let's have a look at that.
So for right now, like with BTC, I'm pretty bearish on it, but because I feel like we're just consolidating here. I'm waiting for us to break out. But because I'm pretty bearish right now, I'm seeing that a lot of the coins have a lot of this type of setup right now where they're testing like support turn resistance.
Yeah.
Let me see. I saw Head and Shoulders before. I think AGL. Yeah, Damon, what do you think of this one? Because I posted in the chats Head and Shoulders, and Lewis
Yeah.
told me, to make sure it's like at the end of a trend or
Yeah. So can I get you to zoom out a little bit more so
yeah.
I can
So I
see?
this one. Is that
Yeah, I
too
mean
much?
it's at the end of an uptrend, which could very much be a Head and Shoulders. It's pretty severe. I think I actually
But
drew that the other day as well.
because it's yeah, since the start of the year, yeah, we've just been going up and up. But I'm looking at this one. So you reckon this one would be
Yeah, I mean,
valid?
it's a very slight trend line. Like the trend line's not very steep. Like the gradient's not very strong.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me think that maybe it's just testing that resistance. If you draw another um, um,
Trend line or
trend line, no, sorry, another line at around 0.4689. 0.4689, yeah, somewhere around there. If you were to look left, you'd actually see a bit of structure. So I wonder if it's just kind of thrust through that,
oh yeah.
and I don't know. It's a tricky one. I wouldn't probably be thinking that it's too strong, but it could very well be. So um, it's a tricky one, and I think you just probably have to wait and see and follow what Bitcoin does.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a trend line at the top of it. So if you zoom out a little bit, there's actually a channel through there.
Sorry, what do you mean?
So if you just stop there
Yep.
and you draw a channel both with this trend line and this trend line there, you can see that it's kind of consolidated on that angle as well.
Uh,
Um,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
So you could probably consider that top, the one that you've called the head, could very well just be a pop out and a comeback, like a moon and comeback. But
Yeah.
it's a tricky one. I mean, if you're gonna trade it down, you'd look for it to break that trend. If you're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
trade it
just yeah, yeah.
up, I'd probably be reluctant to enter that long at all until such time as it clears that.
Yeah, I'm
Clears that.
looking more for a short, but
Yeah, well, if you're looking for a
it's
short,
just
you'll look
this.
for the trend line. I'd probably even wait for it to break your line of support. I'd probably consider this kind of move. Just give me a sec. Just don't move. Um, I'd probably consider this and then a retest of that and then trade this section through here.
Oh yeah.
It's just a safer play. So
Yeah, yeah.
Damien.
yeah.
John sent a message. He's waiting to be let in. He's in the waiting room.
Yeah, but I don't like him. So I'm not
Okay.
gonna let him in.
Well, now we know.
Uh
Yeah, I'm a one-man band here tonight. I got no one keeping on. I think you're my person to tell me that from now on tonight. Well
for
done,
me,
Gabriella. No,
ape,
Gabriella.
I'm looking at a shorting ape. I just want to see what it how it like acts at the 61 or at the 50.
Yeah.
What
So
would you say this one's kind of valid or
yeah,
just
I mean that 61.8 is definitely valid. I'd probably it's a tough one. See this move here. this move here has kind of, do you start fibs there? It's a bit of a tricky one, fibs on this one. I mean, do you start fibs there? If you started it here, there's your market structure. There's your market structure. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then is this the change of market structure? So is this that, or is this that? It's a tough one. So can you zoom out a bit more? I find that if I can't decide, I try and zoom out and get a bit of a better perspective. Yeah. And then squash it down a little bit for us.
Or even draw the fibs on the 4 hours and then bring it down to the 1 hour. Sometimes it makes the move clearer.
Yeah, so I would probably.
Gabriel? Or what do you mean? Just over here or?
Yeah, so he's got it on the 4 hour. See, it depends on how you zoom in and sideways and up and down on your chart as to how biased you can be. Like,
so you're saying to do it like
I'd draw it from there. Yeah,
from
there.
here?
Yeah. In which case your 61.8 is still a long way away. However, where is your strongest point of rejection? And that is the strongest line of support or resistance putting to the left. So can you zoom out again?
Yeah, sure.
So, and then like give us even more. Yeah. So where's your line of support and resistance on that move? Well, it's actually probably lower than that. So can you go back to where the current price is and then come down to to here? Just don't move for a sec. Can you draw a line through there? Move that white line down.
Oh, over here, yeah.
No, that one, leave it. Yep. And then can you now zoom out again so we can see if we got that right? What do you reckon, team? Pump in the chat as to what you think. I don't know. Like it's a tough one, that one, because you have to really find previous market structure.
Should I check what the EMAs are doing, maybe?
Well, you can, but you still want to find some element of structure.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I'd just because it's ape. I'm not a big fan of trading ape because it's crazy. But B, I wouldn't trade that. Okay. It's just not. There's just not enough there.
See, a lot of the coins, I feel like they're doing the same thing. So
yeah, this one's a bit cleaner. It's got a consolidation period, which shows that there's buyers and sellers there, whereas the other one was just up and down, up and down. It was a bit more choppy, whereas this one's got that consolidation box.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a little bit more confident that the move's still down, and it's created structure through this zone here. There's structure created, it's broken it, and it's come back to retest that structure. Once it clears that structure, you'd potentially be looking for it to go longer, or you'd even wait for it to come back up there to retest and go, right? Yeah. For a short, you'd wait until it come down there and retested and went. So your entry point would be more there. Yeah. But at this point, there's no trade on that coin either, but that coin will be easier to predict a move moving forward.
Let's see, FTM.
See, not only do you get to be host tonight, but you get free trading support. How good's that?
That's awesome. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I might have one or two more, but yeah, I feel like a lot of the coins are doing
yeah, and they are, because basically what they're doing is they're coming back. I'm going to have a look at Bitcoin for everyone in a minute.
Yeah.
Is it bouncing?
That's about it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Bitcoin bouncing, or is Bitcoin creating different market structure? We don't know. So I'm going to give a couple of different perspectives on that.
If you want to take over, Damien, but yeah, most of the
righto, man. I appreciate you sharing, my friend. And what I would do is sorry, I just read what I would do is swing high, swing low. You're a muppet, Brett. Seriously, I love that your microphone's not on, because you just be talking shit. I swing low, so I swing low like Sweet Chariot. What you are going to look at Bitcoin is that you need to zoom out and have a look at the bigger picture. So let's have a look at that. Yeah. Javier, my friend, you're the man. I want you to keep live, keep active, and I'm going to bounce off you. All right. So,
All right, let's do it.
can you just stop sharing your screen and I'll share mine? Here we go. So yeah, guys, I can't actually see the chat, so I'm just gonna.
I'll read them out.
Yeah, if you can just, if there's someone want to ask a question, but it's just easier for me if you just interrupt me. So Bitcoin here, if you look at it from a zoomed out perspective, so this is the trade I actually shared on the call last week. I said that if Bitcoin breaks this pink line, it'll fall drastically once it goes, and that's actually happened. So I'm not a future predictor, but that one was a fairly easy read, and it had wicks to the upside here. There was potential for it to fall, and the move, like when you back test, you can actually see that the move began here. The move began on this wick because what it did, it was an upside wick with market structure change or market structure confirmation. And you can see that when you look at it, that this here was the high and then another, and it came down and kept confirming it. It pushed back and then boom, down she wrote. So it was one of those ones that was relatively easy to predict. However, there wasn't enough evidence for me until it crossed this pink line. So once it crossed that pink line, it crossed that pink line hard. There wasn't a retest on that one. Why not? Because it's a significant figure. So the break of that line sat at around 22,300, which it had tested a couple of times over here. And if you look further left, you can actually see that that structure sits there as well. So this had come down and wicked and popped and wicked and popped. So it had kind of hovered through, drove its way forward. So when you can see that these wicks here, this wick here, this one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, it just kept driving through it. When it was crossing that line, it was punching. So what you've got here is it happened again. It bounced off it hard, and this one over here, where we are now, it did the same thing. It drove through it hard, and it drove through it hard coming back. So that candle was always going to match what it had done previously. So when you're back testing, you should make an effort to go back and look at that support line that you find and try and get the story around that line, and then try and predict that same story to repeat itself at this point. It's back testing, and I've been going on about it. Steve, my mate in this chat here, has done a lot of back testing, fed a lot of data back to me about it. And it's one of those things that you see happen over and over again. And if you're ready for it, you can catch it. So anyway, predicted that this was going to happen. It was a 2.87 trade purely because I was kind of concerned about these wicks here. So it was a fairly conservative trade. So we'll get rid of that now because it doesn't matter. So what it's doing, in my opinion, is one of two things. It's either, well, one of three or more things, really. Let me just try and draw you a picture here. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that and get rid of that. So you can see that there's a pink trend line, which is a predicted trend line. So wick 1, wick 2, wick 3. To me, that's strong enough, not strong enough to kind of have as a trend line, but if you forward project it, it could be a target for its return. So this could come up there, test that trend and support at the same time, and then come back off it. The other thing is it could test it and go through it. So if you're in a short at the moment and you're losing a bit of money, potentially that's where the magnet pull of that line is, and it'll go up. So if you've got enough meat in your short sandwich to stay in the chart trade, then maybe you will be able to be successful. If it breaks up and through that trend line or through that support resistance line, you might find yourself in a bit of trouble. The one thing that you've got going on there, the light blue line is the 21 EMA. So it's respecting that in some ways at the moment. The blue one is the 50. So it's well below that, but the 200 is kind of hovering through it, and the 200 has plateaued, which makes me think that it might just stay in a consolidation zone for a little while. So I'm in a short with a bit of meat in them. So I'm just going to kind of stay in, not financial advice and don't do what I do, but I'm actually just going to stay in to see if it doesn't just come across and find this trend line. It's ones I'm watching them with interest, but I'm not kind of concerned about pulling out of them at this point, nor am I really looking to enter anything because I'm in 4 trades. So the 4 trades that I'm in, I'm happy with. If I find something else that's doing something different, then maybe, but at the moment I'll just stay in it because the probability is still in my favor. The other thing it might be doing, and I know that there's been a little bit of talk of this, is a double bottom, which would come in line with coming back to retest that as well. So that both of those theories would be supported. And the other good thing about this double bottom particularly is a double bottom that breaks through a trend line. So there's the trend line. A double bottom that actually hits, breaks, comes back and tests at or around this trend is a strong double bottom. So when a trend line slices a double bottom or a double top, it's actually a stronger double bottom or double top. So just look for those in your back testing.
Hey, Steve is asking, what do you think of the CPI tonight?
Yeah, if you're not in a trade, don't enter one until after 11 p.m. our time, which is 2 hours time. If you're not in one, wait. If you are in one, then if you've got enough meat, see, my trades are sitting at a fairly considerable percentage of win rate. So I'm at peace with the fact that if they come back a bit, I don't think they'll stop out, so I'm taking safety measures to have my point of peace and stop losses set there, and that's okay. So if we get some volatility through this CPI announcement, I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably highly likely going to be, bad news, because we're in a point in history where it's bad news. The other option for this is that it may just be coming down, and this to me is the most logical move. So what you've got is an equal there with an equal there, in which case you could argue that it's creating the market structure that it needs to bounce from a bigger perspective. Because if this holds this line of support, it shows that that area of support is strong and the buyers will pounce on it. The sellers aren't winning that argument yet. So it's a bit of a danger area. So sometimes we find regions that are really easy to trade. So region like this is easy to trade. That there, simple to trade. This here, not so much. This zone here and this zone here are relatively easy to trade, as is that. But these zones are the ones that are the hardest to trade because they're left to right. So until it breaks kind of out of this box, and you've got a news event in 2 hours. It's kind of like a just wait and see. That's really what it comes down to. So when you're looking, Javier, at your market structure before, you can see that on this coin. You can see that upward push down and reject. Is that a lower high? Right? Or is this a higher low? So what's down there?
Yep.
We don't know. So my argument would be that the longer the structure, the easier it is to read. So I'm kind of a little bit skeptical about, put it this way, I wouldn't be putting in any shorts now, and I'd be open-minded to longs. Because Bitcoin may be the savior of the world's economy, maybe. And then you zoom out even further, and you could argue that it's just come back into its consolidation zone, which has been a massive consolidation zone. So you've really got to analyze this thing in many ways to really try and predict what it's doing. The ideal play, if you're going to look for some element of bigger picture trading, would be to have this happen, and maybe that will fall short and come down. That's one play. Or have this happen and that'll stay high and go, because this is your market structure change. And the other one, oops. The other one the other way is your, oops, sorry. The other one the other way is your market structure change that way. So lower high, way she goes. Right? So that's what you're looking for. On a short, you're looking for a lower high. On a long, you're looking for a higher low. And by that, I mean, you have this, and then you got a higher low, and away you go. Low, higher low. And it's pretty simple when you look at it from a zoomed out angle, that you can see that that's what it looks like. It's definitely changed structure. So by that, I mean, you've got this through here. You've got a higher high than this one. And you've got potentially a lower high, sorry, a higher low than that one, unless it comes back down and does that. It could do that as well. So there's so many plays that just all make sense. Anyone got any opinions on any of that? Feel free to open up your mic. There's only a few of us at the candlelight dinner tonight.
Brett said he might make a comeback.
Brett, I want you. I want you. That's exactly what it is. What are you saying? That's
leverage.
Exactly what it is. You mean it's? Do you mean it's market structure at a point where? Is that what you're saying? It's exactly what it is. Is that what you mean? Are you agreeing with me for once? Something in the waiting room. Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could just be, sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Yeah, it could be a liquidity hunt or a fake out. Yeah, absolutely. It could be anything. So yeah, that's pretty much Bitcoin. It's in a bit of a weird spot. So I'm not overly excited by that double bottom. I don't like, is it a double bottom or is it just coming back to decide? And then what you try and do is you zoom in on this, like I'm talking zoom in, and see if there's just some sort of an element of structural play on this. It's changed structure here, right? So now we need to decide, well, that's the new point of interest line for me is there. Yeah, I don't know.
Mate, I'm just looking at that same line that you're looking at before it broke through and how many times it touched before it broke through to the left there.
The pink one?
No, the one down where we're at, that one there. So
yeah.
that sort of block there, how many times it hit that resistance before it broke through, and possibly the one to the right, how many times is it going to come down and touch the support before it breaks through? Or
yeah, it could hover there for a while, in which case you enter now, you get a wick down, you're gone. Happens to everyone. You enter now short. So thanks for talking to me, Trout. I love A, people talking to me, and B, the sound of your beautiful voice. Tough crowd tonight, eh? So if you take a position like that, however big that may be, who cares? If you get your stop loss going there to clear that wick, which is kind of what everyone would do, and then we just get one wick that comes up and does that and then comes down, we've all been there. So you've got to not enter too early. And for me, there's just no entry there at the moment. Come down to the 1 hour, still no real entry. You can't confirm any market structure around this or that. You can't really kind of get any gauge. So what I'd be doing there is saying, Radio Bitcoin, thanks very much, I'll talk to you later, and then just go and find something. So ALG, like Javier looked at, I actually got wicked out on this. Have a look at this for a trade. I got wicked out and I've left it there just to show myself how annoyed I should be. I got wicked out on that. That one there. Look at that. And look at what it did. And look at the size of it. Look at the size of that trade. 21%. 13-1 trade it ended up being, and I got wicked out there. How about that? But I should have done that, and it's my own fault. I entered too aggressively with a short stop loss. I love the head nod there, Fred. You're like, ha, dickhead. But that's all right because we're all friends. And
Damien, all you had to do was just make your stop loss a bit, just like a few.
Yeah, absolutely. And then because I wasn't online, we've got ourselves 2 touches down here, and it spat out. When I wasn't online, I could have caught it back the other way and got the exact same position. And now I could have caught it again and caught the exact same position. So there's 2 lessons in that. One, just because your trade wins and you get stopped out, don't stop analyzing that coin. That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is become an expert on one coin. When we're all looking at 20, 30, 40 coins in a week, maybe, just maybe, your brain, like my brain, is better off just sticking to 1 or 2, really getting a feel for it.
Is that why maybe Jason only trades gold, or nearly all?
Jason only trades
gold.
Jason trades XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and gold on his list. That's it.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gabriella, you want to say something? So there's 21% almost, if you consider this one, there's 21% wins there, which is 3 210s at 10x, 3 440s at 20x. That's not exactly right, so don't quote me on that poor maths, but it's considerable. And there's 3 trades in that coin since the 8th of February, which is a week ago. So when you're considering what trades do you want to take, you don't have to take a trade on Litecoin, then a trade on Ethereum, then a trade on ADA, and then a trade on Matic. You don't need to do that. You notice that people who trade gold just trade gold. People who trade Bitcoin just trade Bitcoin. Wonder why. So find the coins that you can read and smack them. The ones that you zoom out, let me show you an example. Like this guy, my mate, Litecoin. Find a coin that you can easily identify market structure on. And like, look at this. This is just not pre-planned. You can go, boom. Oh shit, that's too thick. You can go, boom. And boom. And I'm not going to make that sound again because I sound like a dickhead. But you can easily see market structure through that coin, right? When you can easily see market structure, you listen to the greatest trader we have in our circle, all he talks about is trading market structure. If you haven't watched the 1 hour 15 whiteboard lessons, do yourself a favor and make the next 1 hour of your 15 when I hang up tonight, the next hour and 15 of your life. It's crazy good. And I've watched it, I reckon, 20 times. And you can just see the structure. It's so clear on Litecoin. Another one is XRP. Easy. I'll put it up here. Easy, easy, easy market structure read. Oh, look at that. I should have taken that trade too, but I didn't. And this is the thing. I've drawn that 15.23 to 1. It was a crazy trade, that one. Didn't take it. Too risky. Thinking, oh yeah, no, I won't do that. Boom. So we've got easy structure to read on XRP. It's not a difficult coin at all. So find your 2-3 that work for you as an option. And the education says 10 charts a day, but that's to get you better at charting. Once you know how to chart, choose your 2 best friends and take them to dinner.
Brett just shared a chart on AGLD. He said if he would have traded that.
You're a bloody good secretary over here. Thanks, man.
Don't tell Anastasia.
AGLD. Did you just draw that up? While I was talking. Oh, you sexy beast. That's perfect entry, yeah. So yeah, off the top of that, it's perfect entry, yeah, absolutely. You can all see that, can you? Talk to me about FG Field, so this is Forex talk, I'm presuming that you've incorporated into crypto, FVG filled and run on short stops. So FVG stands for fair value gap has been filled and run on short stops. Okay, so then short stops. Okay, so basically it comes back down, changes direction, and where that market structure changes direction is the perfect entry. Am I reading that right? All right, cool. That give or take. So yeah, so that's what you should be looking for as well. So if you are here live on this chat, or even if you're watching this now, take a screenshot of that because that's worth having to incorporate Forex education into your, obviously it's in the chat, so you can just grab it and save it as a file probably or something. But definitely get a copy of that and put it in your Bible if you like.
I've noticed that Sham talks about this stuff as well with like the imbalance and all that. It's a bit too technical for me right
Yeah,
now.
but it's only going to be technical until you learn it, my friend. Like, if you think about trading, how technical that was when you first began. So, I'm not a Forex trader. Hats off to Brett, who is. Brett's trying, obviously your trading's not going very well, mate. You're trying to make money off your friends by charging them tuition fees. But what we've got is, it's another element of education that will actually back your crypto trading and it'll make it better. So I don't know much about like short stops and stuff like that, fair value gap, that kind of thing. So, but it's definitely definitely worth learning and definitely worth applying. So yeah, see that moon candle there next to his perfect entry sign? That's the one that I've been talking about too, as the one you want to trade on the way back down. Those moons are so easy to trade. Practice a couple of times paper trading or back testing them, but once they pump, people are buy, and then suddenly the rocket falls, and you can catch that for a short every time. You've just got to be careful as to how far you think it's going to go. And in an ideal world, you do it with really good leverage, but but you don't need to go 100x or anything on those falls. You can, but I wouldn't. Yeah, and catch it. And probably the EMAs are probably telling the story around the same time. So yeah, has anyone got any charts they want to or has anyone got any questions on anything that I'm kind of looking at? I'm not really finding any juice, because what a quick way to do that is, what you can do is you can look at these percentages and you scroll down and they're all around 1-2% maximum. So there's not a lot of movement going on. So what I'll do is I'll have a look at these 5% charts and say, okay, well, what's that doing on a grand scale? And the answer is it's just consolidating this GRT. Someone posted that before, I'm pretty sure. So you could argue that the trend line sits more like that, in which case it hasn't broken out. One theory could be that your trend line has broken out of there somewhere. I don't know, maybe that. Who knows? But it's still just got this. You just need to time in the market will actually give you the opportunity to kind of see stuff, and that's just in a box. And if you look at 1.4 to 1.7, that's a 20% box. So there's 20% worth of trading in that. So yeah, so there's a bit of trading in it, but right in the middle of that box. So the way I work that out is just quickly, you can see on the right, it's 0.1421 is the price. At the bottom of the box, at the top of the box, it's 1.7. So that's a 3-cent move. So quickly in my head, I go, well, 3 cents is probably around 20-ish% of that position. I could go over here and get the ruler and draw it wrong. Let's try again. I could come over here and get the ruler, and there you go. It's 18%, but I haven't really got it to the line to line, but it's close enough. So there's around 17% of meat in the movement of that coin, in which case, if you were able to catch that from the top down to here, that's a pretty significant trade. 17%, that's a big trade, right? But you've got to be at the top. If you're at the bottom, it's just the same in reverse. You're trading up 21%, but you've got to catch it at the right time. So those who got in there, perfect entry, like Brett was saying, that's your perfect entry. But right now, in that consolidation box, there's no entry. Could be testing that trend line, if that's in fact a trend line, and you just want to wait. So right now, 14th of February, you are 9:20 p.m. There's just not much around. So it's a time to just wait. There could be not much around because of speculative news on what the news is doing. I'm not a big fan of trading news myself. Like, the coins will move and I'll be patient and the entries will come.
Brett shared another chart, Damien.
Brett, why don't you bloody help me host a show for once instead of just putting yourself on the promos? So Dash, Shane, we'll look at Dash in 2 secs, man, and then John will throw to you after Brett steals my thunder. It's just so exciting to have you on, my friend. You know what? If Lewis isn't here, then who else? Who else would you want other than Javier and Brett to share the love? All right, that's a huge run up. Yes, it is. Yeah. Where do you get that though? Like, where do you get that box? Is that the difference of that wick on the left? So that orange box, are you buying that orange box because it's the difference of the wicks to the body of the candle on the left? Is that where you're finding that box? Sorry, Brett's microphone's not broken, so for those of you. Here he comes. Slow fingers. I'll slow fingers Quinn. Yeah, that's left during the big push between the two candles. Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I'm. I can't annotate this, but basically the difference between the wicks and the body of that big candle on the left at the start of that orange box, that's how he's gotten that position, and then that comes back into that zone for the retest, I guess you could say. So it fell, came back to retest it, and it rejected out of it. So that entry is there in that box. So you can use boxes as a no trade zone, or you can use trade boxes as your entry zones. Either or. So yeah, that's good. Gee, you'll be a better trader in that time, man. That's good. Dash. What have you got on Dash? Just thoughts on Dash, full stop. Okay. Okay, thoughts on Dash. Help me out, team. Let's do this together.
Uptrend. Strong uptrend.
Yeah, let's have a look at the 4 hour first. There's a strong trend through there that's been respected the whole way through, and it's kind of sitting on it. You could argue that there's a trend now through there. You could argue that a shorter term trend has formed maybe there. You could argue that that pink line and the black line is a channel. Pink may be the middle of the channel, in which case, I don't see it before I draw it. Something like that could be valid. So you can see there that all of the projection is bullish in that bullish direction of the projection. Yeah. Got random talking to me.
Hey, can you check FTM?
Yeah,
I
just
feel like
yeah, I will in a sec. Just let me keep in this zone. You've got this here, all upward push, upward push, upward push. But what I do, Shane, is I'd zoom out and have a look at it and go, okay, what's it doing? So the significant line is this one, because that's where your market structure change will be from a bigger angle. This here, if that can hold above that, then that will be a market structure change. You can also see the formation of a head and shoulders here. So the head and shoulders hasn't actually formed properly yet. It's in the middle of it. So if that comes back through, that could be something that you consider. It also would have to break that strong line, not just the trend line, but if it breaks a trend and then comes down and breaks the line of support, then that's a stronger confirmation that that head and shoulders could in fact be accurate. It's at the end of an upward push. The size of that push is 64%, which makes me think that that in fact could be the end of the run. A 64% move is really significant in this world. Yeah, 64% is really significant, and that's probably why it's run out of steam. I would definitely, not financial advice, Shane, if you're still there, but you would definitely not write that one off as a short if it breaks that thick black line.
Damo.
Yeah, mate.
What's Brett see with just before your head and shoulders there, that big push up there with a fair value gap in that? Is there something in that as well?
Yeah, well, maybe. Brett, maybe you can help with that. So are you seeing this here?
Yeah, somewhere there, just off that.
So you've got a gap here in that coin. Sorry, in that candle, you've got that push through.
Not that I know anything about fair value gaps. But...
No, but I'll try and he's going to charge me. No good. Okay, that's not. So I don't know enough about that to be able to kind of go into that world. And Brett's got no microphone, so what we'll do is we'll get Brett on. Hey Brett, why don't you jump on Thursday night and help me with perspective?
That's what I just said.
Oh yeah, jump on and help me with perspective, and that way you can do a bit of that if you want. Because hang on, you're not actually helping with perspective. Your perspective's your call as well. For those of you who don't know, Brett Quinn is actually on our perspective promo, and that's Brett Quinn, everyone. He's been absent.
He said he's going to try and fix the mic tomorrow.
He's like the kid that shows up to school in like week 4 and gets all the chicks. Like all us blokes have been there for a term already, and then Brett shows up and he's like, yeah, and bats his eyelids, and then boom, look at it, they're all just going, ooh. All right, so we've got a head and shoulders there potentially. So Shane, what I'm going to throw to you, mate, is we've just charted that up. I'm going to actually flick that to you in a personal message. And what I want you to do, Shane, is I want you to chart that up yourself. Am I friends with you on Facebook? That's kind of embarrassing. Shane, what's your last name, man? Just throw it in the chat and I'll friend me on Facebook and I'll help. Green. You got a jet ski? If not, someone's about to get a free chart. I go, what the hell? So what I want you to do, mate, is go and chart that up and then put it in the chat, because that is a part of your growth, is sharing charts. So you've brought Dash to the table. So go in, chart it up, and put it in the chat that you're in, and get feedback from people other than me as well. But no, man, that's a good one. I reckon just be patient though. So what I want you to do is scenario 1, you'd be looking at a long off there, back maybe up to in line with that. That wick makes me a little bit nervous. This wick here makes me a little bit nervous, but that's one position that you could do. The other position that you would consider would be a break and retest. It's a shorter a different position, but depending on how the wicks look as it comes down, the short there or the long there would be the two entries that I would consider. I wouldn't take it further than that, because if it goes beyond that there, then it's a complete change of market structure, which I think is too risky. So you only want to target your short to there. So what I'll do is I will share that in our chat now here. But Shane, if you can friend me on Facebook while you're sitting there, if you got the capability to do that, then I'll share that chart with you directly, or you can just take it off here if you can, and then you can share it in our chat. That's a good one. I won't steal your thunder, man. I will, however, share it in my own group's chat. I will steal a little bit of your thunder. Okay. So, what was the other one? FTM.
Yeah, I shared a link in the chats, Damien, of my
Gotcha.
chart. Maybe you can just.
Javier, you got to come back, man.
Do you think for a potential short?
Yeah, it could bounce off that area, but it has to break that little short-term trend. Yeah.
It's coming down
potentially.
from a downtrend. Okay.
Yeah, potentially a short. The thing is, when you share a chart like that, is this your chart?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah,
chart.
so when you share a chart like that, it's just a little bit too close to get a bearing on the structure. So at the moment, you can just see it's in a consolidation zone. That's all I'm seeing though, because that's all I can see. So can you, or can I? I'll just quickly.
Yeah, if you could do it, yeah, that'd be.
Yeah,
great.
all right. I'll just quickly do this, because then I can leverage a bit of education, and then I'll actually throw it to John, and we'll see where we're at. Funny, I go back and, because I'm teaching people all the time, I go back and see what some of the shit that I've drawn and go, what was that? What was I thinking? Not so much what was I thinking, but like I just saw a smiley face drawn with the brush tool, and I go to myself, what was I explaining then? So what? Yeah, see, that's right on support. I used to, like, when I started my journey, I used to start ignoring market structure. Like, I just went, oh yeah, whatever, I can see it. But what I neglected to do was trade it. I neglected to trade market structure. So recently, I've really made that more my focus. Look for the market structure. And what you're able to do is see whether or not it's worth trading. So what you've got here is this equaling this here, right? So it's testing that structure. G'day, Brennan. It's testing that structure to see whether the move looks like that. That's exactly what it's doing now.
I'm too zoomed in. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're way too zoomed in, and that's okay. But what you've got to stop doing is trading zoomed in, because you're not getting the best picture of the whole scenario. You know, you want to zoom out. You want to take a good look. You want to look as far left as you can. 4 hourly, usually you can do most of the work. But to me, you've got yeah, see, there's a little break retest again through there. So I think that's why I drew that line through here. But then when you have a look at it kind of zoomed in, you can see that that line still has significance here. So yeah, so you're looking for the structure change there to there. If it comes through, it's actually changed structure. It's changed structure here. If it bounces and goes, then, you know, if you're good enough, you might be able to set an entry off this when it comes back. Still a lot of meat there, and not many wicks to save it as it currently stands. So those wicks aren't strong low. They're not very big at all at the moment. You've only got this, sorry, wrong thing. You've only got this these couple of wicks through here. It's not really too much there at all. So as far as a position goes, it's not too bad for a long. It's not, you're just gonna have to wait and see. Now, like if it doesn't come back, how do you trade it? So if it doesn't come back, then what you're looking for is a push up and then a rejection that stays up. So there confirms that this, so if you look at this and this, it's the same thing as this and this, but on a zoomed in scale. So that's what you're looking for to confirm that this may in fact push up. You wouldn't still enter that trade until such time as it's done the break and retest. So that would be the safe play on that. But you'd also have to make sure that this line here that I'm moving is in fact where it should be. So you'd have to go in and analyze that if you're going for the long play to make sure that your resistance line's in the right spot. With respect to a short, you're looking for something like this. You're looking for it to either break straight off that. You could argue that you've got your change in market structure already, in which case it's on the bear trend and you're just following it down. But again, you would only look to enter that below for a short. And, you know, where do you put that? That's one of those things. So trading that for a short would be a little bit risky probably at this stage. And how far does it go, and does it in fact have a position available to it? Maybe. That one I'd have to spend more time on, but I'm conscious of the fact that we're marching on for time. But yeah, there's potentials there, but what you're looking for is, what is this doing here? That there is telling the story as to which way it's going to go next. So that's one to look at, man, one to watch for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Is there someone else out there? Not sure if play out. Here we go. FTM. Oh yeah, we've got the triangle happening. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at that. I like the days on the thing. That's kind of cool. So he's seeing a triangle that looks like this. Maybe it's a bit bigger. There it is. On the 30-minute. Yeah, might play out. So that's more zoomed in analysis. It's coming from a consolidation though zone though. So which way it pops, we don't know. Like if that had come down a bit more severely, then you could probably predict that was going to go that way. But it's come from this, so that would be a risky trade for me. But yeah, there's definitely validation there for the shape. Yeah, maybe. Not sure if that'll play out because I don't know if it works with cryptos, but yeah, if it was Forex, I'd be looking for a short. Yeah. Yeah, days are significant. Yeah. So in the chat, it says that the top or bottom of the week around Tuesday, Wednesday at 6 to 9 p.m. Melbourne time, which is now 11 or 2. Yeah, so now or later tonight. Yeah, nice. $1,200 a win. Nice. London Open. New York Open, yeah. Yep. So when the London Opens and New York Opens, yeah, that's good. All right. Here comes John Day with a share. Just stop charting.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
There you go, my friend. If anyone's got anything else to share, any questions, feel free. Ada.
Yeah, it's sort of a similar play to what Javier just shared, I think. But mine hasn't broke yet, and I'm sort of.
As you're talking, Javier, use what John's doing here to put that onto your own chart, this wedge, just to see. You never know. Can you make it a little bit shorter? No, yeah, that way. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Trade more like that.
Yeah.
You can get a bit of a bias going on depending on how you put your candles. Like you don't want to create a bias in the way you've zoomed in or out or up or down. So just keep it fairly simple.
Yeah. So we got the obvious downtrend here, and the wedge matching or meeting the trend. So either it's going to break the trend line and head up, maybe retest on this line here, and or it's going to come straight down. It's a rising wedge bearish pattern. So yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. If you look at the structure on that, it's well clear of that. So the structure would sit against the trend line on the last touch of the trend. So you're definitely creating a lower high. If that does what you predict it to do,
yeah,
you've got yourself a confirmation of that bearish trend.
Yeah.
And as resistance lines and trend lines match, that's when the fireworks happens.
Yeah, indeed.
So
it need quite a big push to get through this resistance zone. I think it's quite solid there.
Yeah, maybe. But if like your analysis is good, that wedge is good, the trend line's good.
Yeah.
The position's good. It's not too greedy. The stop loss. Can you zoom in now on the current price so we can just have a better look at what's doing? So zoom right in on that complete zone there. Yeah, let's have a look at that. So yeah, it's got the right wicks going on. What are you on the hourly?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, share that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches potentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. Yeah. So what you want is in the wedge, you want 5 touches.
Yeah, that's what it's got at the moment.
Yeah. So I don't mind that trade at all. Is that the similar setup as what we're looking at last night?
I mean, I think you was looking at
last night we were going. Yeah, last night would have been too early an entry, but tonight might be the place. The last night we had a entry. We were just mucking around last night. We had an entry at 35 cents, so below the next support line. We were kind of talking about it when it was down at the bottom of that move, and if no, in between.
There.
To the right a little bit more. Yeah, there we were talking about it and saying that if it comes back through, there's potentially a short, but it's gone back up now. So we're doing the same thing where it is, but that wedge structure makes it more attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. Yeah, make sure you share that one and I'll draw it up.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. What movie is that from? Anyone know?
Here we go. I
like it. I like it a lot. Anyone know those two movies? Yeah, I am. I mean,
And Dumberer.
yeah, Dumb and Dumber and Bruce Almighty. I am in it. Jim Carrey. All the faces. Okay. I think Joel Fernandez is on our call. Better behave myself. He knows we're still on. I think he's here. He's everywhere, that bloke. No, he's not there. His name's gone. He was here. So what you've got, I think, John, is a fairly decent trade there, mate.
But not tonight because of the news.
Oh, it's only an hour away. So
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what?
that's
The news
Yeah.
might be what you need to push it down to.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So you've kind of got to put it this way: it could dump
Yeah.
and stay dumped.
It could.
It could moon and stay mooned. You just don't
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. I know. Yeah.
So you know what? Look, I strongly recommend that you put your house on the website and sign up to realestate.com and put your house on it, mate. Just get in there. And we can laugh about it at the other side, right? We either drink
sounds like a
caviar or we
plan.
shovel shit. One or
Sounds
the
like a
other.
plan, not financial advice.
Not financial advice. No, I should put a disclaimer on there. Hey? Surely people can see my beautiful sarcastic face. Does anyone else got anything else they want to share?
Okay, I'll stop now.
Yeah,
mate,
true.
I'll
After the
show
news
you.
is still early for you, John Day. That's
I'll
true,
show one,
Gabriella.
Benson. I'll show a quick one, mate.
Trader, you got one?
Yeah. Just let me know on that.
Former leverage. No, you're sharing me, man. I was just looking at myself. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
had to get
whoa.
off that pretty quick. How's that?
I'm like, Jesus, is that what I look like up close? Former leverage host, everyone. Aaron
see that
Trouton,
okay?
episode 16, I believe. Big fella.
Mm.
You,
So
you and
yeah,
Javier got something in common. You bloody leverage host. How good. What do you got there, mate?
APT, not much to look to the left at because it sort of doesn't go too far. So it's sort of, yeah, but just looking at this structure here, that parallel structure here, I've sort of put in two sort of resistance and support lines here that have formed. And like I said, not much to look at to the left because there's nothing there at this height. But yeah, just sort of waiting for, this is a 4-hour time frame, so just waiting for this. Just try and make it a bit bigger now. Just waiting for this candle to close here in the next 10 minutes. But it looks like it's sort of, you know, coming off that that channel there, and hopefully potentially going to continue down. So
yeah, that's strong analysis too.
Yeah, just waiting for, it's got that resistance there and the channel line sort of there. It's got the 50 EMA and that white line also. So yeah, a little fair bit happening around that position there. So yeah, just waiting for that candle there to continue to close. A bit more of a, hopefully more of a bearish engulfing, and yeah.
Oh, the wicks are in the right place.
Might jump in on it.
Yeah, the wicks are in a good spot. So can you just zoom back out a bit so we can see where it came from? Yeah, the issue that you may have with that is that it could be a bull flag, in which case it might pop out. But if it pops out of your channel, you're not going to take that trade anyway. If it pops out on this push of the channel, because it's actually going to go beyond your position.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean by that? Cheers, Steve.
Yeah. If it goes through it.
If it goes through it from where it is, you're actually not going to enter that position anyway.
Yeah.
In which case, it could actually do what I said and flag out.
And look at this little loss here, mate. I did a Johnsy there.
Oh
yeah,
that hurts, eh? Well, you've come back for more, sucker. So if it doesn't hit you once and you get revenge, then it's going to hammer you on the ground.
Can't beat them, join them, mate.
That's it. I like that consolidation zone though, because what you're doing is you're trading from the top of it. So not only are you trading a horizontal consolidation zone, you're also trading downward. But the problem is there's more risk on the down channel from the top to the bottom than there is in the consolidation zone sideways, because it's actually, well, I guess if they're coinciding, I'll disregard what I just said and won't explain that. I'll just disregard it. But what you've got there is a fairly good analysis. But I hope that you're not entered and then it decides to pop out. So I'd be probably seeing what it does at the next candle close, which is only in 9 minutes.
Yep.
Actually, so maybe even if you're awake for a bit longer, look at the 1 hour in the next couple of hours and just see what it's doing.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like it for just a short-term, simple little trade. Not too greedy. I like it. That's when you can get stuck, that over greeding, aiming a bit too far away. John, yeah, share that with the bigger trading group as well, mate. And Trout, if you want to do the same.
Sure thing.
Yeah, they're both good. And Javier, share yours as well, man. We don't see you share enough. Just share them. If you can, share them with maybe a call out with a little bit, or just a little explanation, and send one as a message as a photo, and the next one share it as a bit of a blurb just to explain it, just what you're looking at, and ask for feedback, or you've already got your feedback. But
I'll start doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you've got to, man, because you know what, you've got a connection to what, 200 odd traders, more. We trade better together. So if we are working with each other to trade, then we are all going to win, because we're strong. There's a freaking community of traders there, which is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to stay on, but thanks everyone for joining us. Javier Escalante, my friend, you have excelled. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and I appreciate you for jumping in, man. And I appreciate that you are here every week. So I think you get the 100% attendance award actually, out of this whole group of us. You are one familiar face that's there every time. So on behalf of Lewis and myself, our gratitude and thanks goes to people like you who jump on consistently. So we appreciate you, my friend. People like you.
Just want to say, yeah, man, like yeah, thanks to yourself and Lewis for all the information, all the free knowledge you guys have given out these past weeks and months. It's amazing, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can speak on behalf of a lot of people here. But yeah, just thanks for all the information, you guys put out, and it's very valuable,
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, same goes back to the community for backing us as well. And there's no show without an audience, right? So you guys are the audience, so you keep coming back for more, which is good. So yeah, on behalf of Lewis and myself, thank you, Javier. Thank you to the people who have shared, Brett, for your knowledge as well, tying Forex learning to crypto learning. Appreciate it. And Trout and John for sharing, and Shane for asking questions. I appreciate that. We'll see you all next week for episode 19. 19. Remember that ad, that lotto ad that we all 19. So anyway, before I embarrass myself any further, have a great week. Thanks for joining us.